Hey everyone, Matt Pisarcik from RazorEmporium.com. Today I am sitting down with Daryl Brandt, the dreaded barber, and we're going to get a little haircut going on because I am in need of a trim. So, how you doing, Daryl?
Life is good. How you doing?
Good, good. So I think we're, kind of the part of today's video is to talk about how to talk to your barber. I feel like so many guys have just gone through the motions. Maybe they had some bad experiences going to the big chain barber stores, great clips, whatever, and they just don't know how to really go to a traditional barber shop and talk to someone like yourself about what's really needed and their needs. So I thought we'd kind of facilitate some of that dialogue today and help some of our viewers out there with some of this tips and tricks.
Okay.
So I think today I kind of want to do, I don't know, like maybe like a 3 or so. It's been a while since I had a haircut, and maybe a 3 on the sides, and maybe like a tapered back, and trim and fade the beard in, and maybe take a couple inches off the top.
Good deal. So a haircut's always going to start with a consultation, and having not cut your hair, I wanted to find out what we're going to do. You gave a pretty good description of it. If you're used to going to a Great Clips or someplace like that, you're going to use the stylists typically use plastic guards, which are a little bit longer than what a barber would use with their metal blades. So if you
I've never had metal done before.
Okay, so at that point, let's start with a little bit longer. Let's start with a 4.
Okay.
And if you like that, great, we can go shorter.
Okay.
But I don't want to put a 3 on you and then have you go, oh, wait a minute, this is way too short.
Because you can't put the hair back on.
Right, we can, but you have to sign the waiver, and it's messy. It's really messy. Okay, so you want to take the sides off, get some bulk out of there for sure. Trim up the beard. I'd suggest leaving a little bit of that length in the end.
Okay.
Let's kind of taper it in because it looks like your face is rounded.
I got a big,
you don't want to look like an egghead, so we're going to avoid that.
No egghead.
Okay. Taper it out in the back?
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing there, a lot of times, again, if you're going to that big chain and you're used to going to a salon, a lot of times they're just going to put a big ledge on the back of your
No
line.
ledge.
So we're going to taper it up, and what that means is you're going shorter to longer.
Yeah.
So down here in the back of his hair is going to be really short, close to the skin, and just work it up. But you don't go up too high. It's not even really above the bottom of your ear.
Okay.
So we get that cleaned up. Everything else looks good. Something I'm going to ask is, do you have any moles or scars or anything from childhood that I'm going to stumble upon?
Not that I'm aware of, but you never know.
Let's find out.
Yeah. I'm excited. I mean, it's been a while since I've had a good haircut, and some of the viewers out there know that I've been very busy building a new workshop out, and I've kind of let my beard be a measurement tool of the time it's taken.
Is it done yet, or are you still working on it?
It's coming to a close, so it's time to start trimming the beard.
Ready?
Ready.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. A lot of our viewers, a lot of the people out there in YouTube land who are into traditional shaving are also into traditional barbering and manly stuff, grooming. Do you ever have any people who have questions for you about trimming at home, or is that obviously kind of taking away your business?
All the time I have people that ask about it, or I get phone calls of, hey Daryl, I got a pair of clippers the other day. I needed to give my son a haircut or get one for myself.
Right.
My wife cut me. And I used to work with a guy from Lebanon when I was in New York. And his story, his family was, in addition to barbers, they were bakers. And the saying in Lebanon is, give the baker your bread. And the idea is if you take your bread and give it to the baker, he's not going to burn it. So you'll get it done right.
All right. Well, I'm giving you my bread today.
I appreciate it.
And by bread, I mean my head full of hair.
Sure. That's quite a loaf you got there.
It's a loaf, all right. Every barber who I frequented has told me that I have extremely thick hair.
It's true. They're not lying to you.
Well, good. We did have someone who asked a question about hairstyles for guys with thinning hair. Like, what's the best hairstyle if you're thinning?
I always say if you're thinning, go shorter.
Yeah.
Classic example there, Michael Jordan, when he started balding, he took it out.
Just Bick it, baby.
Bruce Willis, same thing. Yeah. Jason Statham, same thing. Okay. Andre Agassi. So it's a matter of
aerodynamics.
You don't want those 7 hairs that you have a name for each of the uncles. You don't want that.
I like it. So the best hairstyle is bald or near bald, very short.
Or just embrace it.
Just embrace it. Yeah, our guy Eric, who works at the Razor Emporium workshop, does a lot of our straight razor work. he shaves his head with a straight razor, and he goes bald.
Right.
But then he has the giant black beard, revenge, huge, giant black beard.
Right.
To kind of compensate, so.
Kind of looks like a professional wrestler.
Yeah.
Right.
I figure if you're thinning up top, you can always compensate with more facial hair.
Right.
Now, I have to ask, I know I kind of asked earlier, but we got to get it on camera. The dreads. You know, I get people sometimes say, how can you own a shaving company and have a beard?
Right.
Well, how can you be a barber and have dreads?
Well, I've had them for 20 years, and then I was like, you know what, all these bands, this is late 80s, early 90s, and it was like Soul to Soul and Living Color and Lenny Kravitz, and I was like, oh, these guys have dreadlocks, and that'd be so cool for me to have.
So you decided this 20 years ago?
Yeah, yeah.
That shows commitment.
Yeah, like 30 years ago, I guess.
Okay.
I started thinking about it at 30, and then it probably took me 10 years to actually find somebody in Ohio, and I had them cleaned up when I was living in New York. And
You can imagine
fabulous.
Ohio's not the place for dreads.
No, it wasn't then. Now you can find them everywhere.
Okay.
But even then,
you were
it was
ahead of
like,
your time.
barber shops would be like, hey, you can't work in here with those.
Right.
You know, and it's like, are you kidding me?
Well, that's why I brought you to my private studio.
Sure, yeah.
Now, Daryl, actually, you've been part of many different iterations of barbershops, and you've been the owner. I know of the one here locally on Roosevelt Road,
Yep.
Public Image, and now there's new adventures. You said you're having a mobile trailer that you're going to be taking it around.
Yeah, we had been working with a group called Trevor's Vision, and they've got a trailer that goes around and offers people showers and laundry services for the homeless.
That's cool.
And I was doing that on Thursday nights, and when I closed Public Image, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to continue to give back. One of my favorite phrases that I use all the time is, sometimes we do things to sleep at night, and sometimes we do things to put a roof over your head. So if you can find a balance of those two, you're going to be good to go.
That's awesome.
And so we've got this mobile trailer that the Trevor's Vision people have bought, and they said, Daryl, if you can cut hair like 2 days a week with us, doing free homeless haircuts, you can use the trailer the rest of the time. So now I've got corporations that are like, hey, can you come and cut at our place? We want to give a perk to our employees. And then my regular customers are like, wait a minute, you can come to my house and I don't have to sit with 40 other people?
Yeah. Well, you know, times have changed a lot. I wonder, I know some places have had restrictions on barbershops and stuff, but I imagine that people actually having a barber come to them may actually be an uptick in business right now. People want that individual personalized experience.
Absolutely. And it used to be something that, you know, you'd hear about celebrities that lived in town that would never walk into a shop, and like Shaquille O'Neal has his own barber shop in his house with 5 chairs in it. And it's actually the same chair you're sitting in. He's got blue ones like this.
I don't know how he's comfortable because I feel like I'm already too big for this chair. No, just kidding. Shaquille O'Neal, man, that guy's a beast. Doesn't he just have it shaved? Why does he need a barber to shave his head?
Yeah.
That's actually a good question. I've always wanted to ask a barber, how many times do people come in and say, just get rid of it, shave the whole thing? How much time does that actually happen? Thick it, the whole thing.
Maybe 2 or 3 times a month.
Really?
Not quite once a week.
Because I would think you could do that at home.
Right?
Well, I guess you don't have the tools to.
But if you like to be pampered.
Who doesn't like to be pampered?
Right? I mean, you can sit in the shower and use your Bic, or if you get the hot towels and the massage and all of those
Traditional
things.
shaving, yeah. Do you prefer someone who comes in with a lot of knowledge, you know, and kind of very specific thought of what they want for their haircut, or do you kind of like a blank slate where you can recommend and say, hey, I think based off your face or your hair type, like what's kind of better?
I think it's a matter of a good consultation, because sometimes people say they want something that, you know, if you came in and said, I love Seinfeld, I want my hair to look like Kramer. Look at the texture of your hair and then think about Kramer. Yeah. It's not a possibility. Or I want my hair to look like Brad Pitt or Leonardo DiCaprio or George Clooney or whatever. And you know, if you've got your receding hairline that starts back here, you can't have a pompadour. That's just not going to happen. So you get some people in that know exactly what they want, and maybe they've had that same haircut since they were 8, or they've had that same haircut since they were 8 and they're ready for a change. And they kind of have an idea of where they want to go. That's always fun. But then if somebody walks in and says, do whatever you want with my hair, that's a spectacular opportunity, but at the same time, I need to delve deeper and find out.
So some good questions.
Yeah. You got to find out for sure, because I could give you a phenomenal haircut. Look, here's GQ, here's Esquire, here's Details. The haircut's in every single magazine, and you're like, yeah, but it's going to take too much time for me to do that in the morning, or I part it on the other side. So there's always a flaw there.
That makes sense. So, it sounds like it's more of a dialogue. The customer could come in either with a
Absolutely.
bunch of knowledge or blank slate, but you still need to dive in and ask them questions and make sure it's really going to be right for them.
And even long-time customers, because it's 103 degrees or 108 degrees outside.
Feels like it's
maybe you want it a little shorter because you're sweating like crazy.
Yeah.
Even if it's the regular, I'm going to check.
Sure.
The regular, take a little shorter, or do this or do that.
Now, another one of the questions one of our viewers wanted us to ask is kind of more of the traditional hair cutting. Like you mentioned pompadour, part. I mean, I part my hair, but is that something that's more of a specialized thing, or should any barber be able to do like a traditional men's parted haircut?
Any barber.
The Don Draper.
Yeah, any barber should be able to do that.
That's like Barber School 101.
But they should be able to. One of the things is, if you're in barber school, depending on where your school's at within the city, maybe you're not getting clients coming in.
Right. If you're in an all black neighborhood, you may not be getting asked for the parted hair.
Young guys that talk about, hey, I want a fade, and they can do a phenomenal fade, but then it's like, we've already used the clippers on your sides, but if you wanted just a scissor cut, there's barbers that have been doing it for years that would panic because they're not used to picking up a pair of scissors and knowing how to do it. Now, my take is you should be able to do any haircut with any tool.
Versatile.
Yeah, so if you wanted this haircut with scissors, I would have been able to do it. It would have taken a lot longer. We'd be talking about our favorite movies and concerts and things we're missing and things that favorite restaurants, but...
Well, I know that you said about the Lebanon phrase of give to your barber the bread and you should let the professionals do it, but there are going to be people out there who want to buy something for home. Is there a brand? I know I've bought wall clippers for trim my beard or whatever is wall, or what's something people should buy for home?
Like if you're talking clippers, I would go Andis and Oster. Those are the two big brands. They're both American made up in Racine, Wisconsin. Okay. Wall's a typical one. A lot of times you'll hear a hairstylist go out and buy them, and they've spent, this is probably a $250 clipper. Okay. They'll go out and buy that $40 Walmart Target clipper.
And they think it's going to do the same thing.
And it breaks down in 6 months, and they're like, this stupid clipper, I'm going back to scissors, because clippers are stupid. Right. And it's like, well, if you give Picasso a paintbrush, he's going to do some remarkable things. If you give me a paintbrush, probably not as much, Well, and I think our viewers can understand what you're saying about, there's going to be a difference in quality because in the world of shaving brushes or double-edged razors, straight razors, they're accustomed to that same kind of, hierarchy of quality, hierarchy of price kind of goes hand in hand. That makes sense. I've got a synthetic horsehair. It's going to give me the same shave that I could get from my silver tip badger.
There you go.
Yeah, of course.
He knows the lingo, guys.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, here comes the mist. It's getting wet.
Now, sometimes you'll go to a shop and get a shampoo. If you had just come from the gym and you were sitting down in my chair, or you're out for a walk or whatever and you're hot and sweaty, I could have thrown you in a shampoo bowl, but for this sake, we just threw a little water on it.
And we don't have a shampoo bowl at the Razor Emporium studio,
of course.
But yeah.
Yet.
I have had that done. The very first time I ever had a shampoo to barber, I was a little bit, I won't lie. I am someone extremely secure in my masculinity, and to have a man shampooing my hair, the first 10 or 20 seconds, I'm like, what's happening? Is this okay? But immediately I'm like, wait, this is amazing. I love this. And from then on out, I was seeing that barber for a couple of years. It was just phenomenal to start off with a good head scrub and shampoo and condition, all that.
And as an artist, it gives you a clean slate to work with.
I've heard some old wives' tales. Is there anything that a guy can do to help prevent hair loss? Other than taking Rogaine or whatever, like just natural things. I think I know one. I want to wait for you to tell me, and I'm going to tell you my thing.
So you know the old line of brush your hair 100 strokes before you go to bed?
Yes.
That works. Because you've got circulation going, you're taking the sebaceous oil and distributing it throughout the hair. You're good to go.
And then number two, something I've always done at home, and anyone who's lived with me, roommates, loved ones, whatever, children now, I thoroughly enjoy sticking my entire head in the sink, getting it all wet, and just literally giving myself a little scalp massage in the morning, and then I style it. I always start with a little scalp massage and get it all wet.
Same as the 100 strokes with the brush. Yeah, you're great.
So stimulating the hair, guys. You got to keep it stimulated.
Come out and play.
We keep it pretty real on this channel. Keep it lighthearted. Our viewers appreciate that it's real. It's not some scripted everything. Just having a conversation here. So, we're talking hair care. guys at home, I think a lot of times just grab whatever their wife or their significant other left in the shower.
Sure.
But what would you say in terms of shampoo, conditioner? Is there a difference between using a good shampoo and a good conditioner? Can you use just one? What's,
like a 2-in-1 or a
2-in-1? Yeah.
3-in-1?
What's a 3-in-1?
3-in-1 would be shampoo, conditioner, and body wash, so you could use it for everything.
What? That sounds ridiculous.
There's a big brand that has one, and it's decent. My son uses it from time to time, so no problem there. Basically, you're looking for something that's paraben-free, sulfate-free.
Okay.
That's always a good thing for your shampoos, conditioners.
So as long as those criteria met, the 2-in-1 is okay?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And again, you can find super expensive $40 for 32 ounces or $7 for 32 ounces.
Maybe somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Now let's switch gears a little bit. We've talked about hair so much. Let's talk about beards and facial hair. I know one of our viewers wanted to ask about like dandruff and dry skin underneath the beard hair. What can guys do to help with that as they're growing some facial fur out?
So the skin, the actual skin instead of the hair, because it's already, as your hair grows, the further it is from your body, the drier. Yeah, the drier it's going to be. So the more likely you need some sort of moisturizer going on.
Okay.
I personally, whenever I shave, I get a point where maybe 3 or 4 times a year, I just need to take it down to a goatee because I'll get rawness on the sides of my cheeks. Yeah. And like I've got a duck face, so you don't want that ever. So I'm never without some facial hair. Right. But just take it down to a goatee. But there's times where your skin just needs a break. And you can use all kinds of things, anything from a natural olive oil. Some people say to use that, and then moisturizers. Okay. If you're using a skin moisturizer like a Nivea or something like that you would typically use on your arms or elbows or whatever, a lot of times that can get really oily and build up on your beard. Or clog up your pores and get pimples. Yeah, and then you've got 2 issues because if you've got acne and dry skin, that's painful and not attractive. Yeah, no good. Yeah, we sell some different beard care products, and I've used now, one of the points, I was saying earlier, I grew the beard to measure the time it took me to build the new workshop, but I also felt like after years of selling beard care stuff, I needed to really experience it, so I've been using a lot of beard balms, beard oils. We even have like a really nice beard brush to help brush it out, and that's, I think, my favorite new tool is a beard brush. Yeah, it's back to the 100 strokes. You're getting that oil around, so you're less likely to have dryness going on. Yeah, I really enjoyed that, and I have had some issues with dry skin, and as I've said on my other videos, my viewers are going to know this. You start doing one of this, and you got just like the little snowflakes come down, and you're wearing a black shirt. That's super sexy, super sexy. So I always try to err on the side of caution whenever I'm cutting somebody. Right. So let's take a look at that and see what you think. I feel like... For the record, there's a mirror behind the camera right now. Yeah, I keep a look at the mirror. He's not just guessing. Yeah, no, it's looking really good. I feel like it's business on top, party in the front. Right? Well, we haven't touched the beard yet. Yeah, no, but this is looking really good, and it feels good. It's a good length. Okay. I did tell Daryl that I want to be able to part it still, because if it was too short, it'd be just spiky. Sticking up, yep. Yeah, so I want to be able to part it and comb it down. So yeah, the sides are feeling great. It's going to be a lot cooler out there. Absolutely. So don't kid yourself. It's still 108. But and the back, oh man, this feels so good. Tapers all the way down. I like that better than the shelf. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Because you look at that, and that's how I could always tell whenever I'm with friends, well, that person goes to a chain salon or this person goes to the barbershop, because you look at it and it's like the haircut's not finished. Yeah. Until you have a nice blend going on. Yeah, it's looking really good. I'm impressed. Let's just clean up your lines and then we'll work with your beard. So this is the Dreadnought shaving cream, and this can be applied without any hot towel or lather, which works for us because we don't have a sink nearby. Now, one of the stories about the use of the shavette, use of a straight razor, so I've always been under the impression that barber shops can't use a real steel straight razor ever since AIDS and blood pathogens really became a big concern in the 70s, 80s. Is that true? A barber could conceivably use a straight razor, but like if you wanted to shave your beard right now, for example, with a straight razor, you'd have the honing and stropping going on in the middle of the shave. Right. So it's far easier and safer to be able to just go ahead and use a disposable blade. Right. Now, the other thing I've heard from some of our viewers and chat room discussions is that barbers really don't get a lot of
shaving instruction in barbering school really is mostly on the haircut, that the shaving section is literally just a couple hours or a day or something. It's not a lot of instruction. Is that true?
Not from my experience. I had, you get 1,600 hours, and I probably spent a quarter of that with the razor in my hand.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, that's always been a big thing, is that, you know, a lot of the guys who are into the traditional shaving experience, they end up knowing a lot about it, and then they sometimes get disappointed because they'll go to a barber shop and they'll get a horrible shave sometimes.
Right.
They'll get a bunch of irritation or cuts or nicks, whatever.
Right.
And they're like, I did a better job at home. Why didn't he know much more about it?
Right.
And people are just always curious, like, how much do barbers know? But it sounds like
Yeah.
a lot. Now, the balloon trick, is that a real thing? Shave the balloon?
No,
not a real
because
thing.
that's when you've got somebody that's a smart aleck that knows everything. Go ahead and fill up a balloon with shaving cream and tell him to use a razor to shave it. Is it possible? Yes. Is it likely that he's going to have a balloon blow up on him? More likely than not.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
We on another channel where we did some of this kind of experimental stuff. We did a shave like the straight razor, and it was a challenge, you know, trying to shave it without it popping. But it sounds like that's just an old wives' tale.
Right.
Okay. Another question that I know someone asked was, and I've experienced this myself, especially like at the back of the neck. You know, guys in our community use a silver tip badger brush and a nice, you know,
Right.
cream, and they're sitting there swirling for a minute to make a lather, and then
Right.
they take 5 more minutes to get it on. And sometimes you see the barber, he squirts out the hot foam and smears it on. All right, we're ready to do this part. All right.
Right.
So, what does barbering school tell you about lather quality?
Well, you definitely want to start with preconditioning the skin, so that hot towel. The easiest way I tell people, if you want to try this at home, and you can do it with a Mach 3 or whatever regular razor, is after you get out of the shower, throw a hot towel in the microwave, get it nice and wet, drain it out so it's not
Yeah.
dripping. 45 seconds in the microwave and apply that to your skin, and that's going to really do a great job to get you ready for a shave.
Yeah.
Then you've got your shave oils, your shaving
Yeah, yeah.
creams, however you want to go with that. That's a matter of
So
personal
as long as you have
preference.
good prep, you can maybe get away with thinner lather.
Yeah, and as far as thinner lathers go, as a barber, you know, somebody asked, was I going to bring a hot lather machine today? And I decided not to. What I always tell people is that big foamy, great lather that you can get is fabulous when you're at home shaving. And like I always take Sunday mornings as my time to have a ritual of shaving. But if it's a new customer and maybe I'm in a hurry going through the process because I'm booked for the whole day
Right.
doing shaves, I don't want to put a big, 1.5 inches of foam on the back of your neck and forget that you had that mole, and then I'm going over it. So I'm going to shave in my shop. I'd either use a shave oil or a super thin cream.
Right.
But even if it's a super thick or super thin cream, you want the word to be slick. You just got to have slickness going on. And as long as you
Slickness.
get that for any amount, because you could have a big foam
So guys,
that
it's
doesn't
not
have any
about the
slickness.
size, it's about the performance. And you gotta have slickness.
Size doesn't hurt though,
Barbershop, right?
right?
Well, I've been waiting for this beard to be trimmed for a while now, and so has everyone around me.
And by doing it the way we're doing, we're strengthening that jawline for you.
I need some of that.
Right?
Yeah,
Because you can always put geometry to work for you.
there you go.
Another question people ask all the time is, should I go up on my jawline? And you're a little bit below there,
I
which is
am.
awesome. I have a tendency to go to my jawline. I'm trying to
And
stop
then
it
it looks
right
like
now.
a strap.
Yeah, and if like I've lost a lot of weight, so
Right.
mine looks decent.
Right.
But I used to have a complete like double and triple chin.
Yeah.
And I'd have the hairline and then like 2 rolls there.
Right.
And it's like, that's dumb.
I don't
so
quite
you,
have that,
You
but-
want to go and leave it
Yeah.
like about the, like if you can go back a finger length behind your jawline.
Yeah.
And that way you get that underneath, it gives you a little bit of camouflage going on.
Yeah, I think, and that goes back to playing up your face geometry. That
Right.
if you got Jean-Claude Van Damme chiseled face, well, then
Right.
great. If not, you got to fake it, guys.
And again, we could take some of that off the front there, but I like it. And bring it down to a point. I like the look of it.
If you want to take it down and bring it to a point,
Just a hair?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to take much because I like it. I'm a fan. And you don't have a ton of stragglers in there that I'm going after. It's a pretty uniform length because you stay on top of that.
I have.
Right? Look up for me all the way to the ceiling. So you'll be able to eat soup again.
You ever cut anybody?
Sure.
I forgot to ask you, what's your favorite part about being a barber?
I get somebody in, I'm building a relationship, I get to see you every 2 to 5, 6, 7 weeks, get to know your story, your family, your career, what's happening in your world, and to be able to take that and know that I'm gonna have a great time when you come in. You know, if I schedule your appointment at like 11:30, maybe we're gonna go have lunch afterwards and just hang out. And if you're the worst person in the world, which you're not obviously, but if you're the worst person in the world, you're in my chair about 25 minutes and then I've got another great guy coming in to replace you. So I don't have to spend a great deal of time with people I don't enjoy.
But you could more with someone you do.
Exactly, or schedule at the end of the day and we're gonna go grab a cold beer and cheeseburger or something.
There you go.
So.
Well, this has been great, man. I'm really thrilled. If people want to find Daryl Brandt, the Dreaded Barber, where can they find you? On social media, where are you?
Okay, so on Instagram, I'm at The Dreaded Barber. On Facebook, you can look up The Dreaded Barber. I think there's about 3 of us there around the world, but I'm the one in AZ. It's either going to be my face or a caricature of myself.
Okay.
And Facebook, Daryl Brandt, DARRYLBRANDT.
Well, this is great, guys. I've been having a great time shooting the stuff here with Daryl, and I'm really liking the haircut. I think we've all learned a lot about how to talk to your barber, about how to take care of your face, your hair, yourself, and each other, as Jerry Springer would say.
There you go.
That's all I got. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Share it with your friends. Post a comment below with anything you want us to ask Daryl. We can always post up later. And if you do, you're entered in to win this, the official Razor Emporium black and blue t-shirt. And we'll see you next time at Razor Emporium for all things vintage shaving. Thanks, guys.